Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when we are given something rare, a heart that beats with honesty, hands that lift instead of strike, a presence that soothes rather than wounds, a good soul. And yet, in the folly of arrogance, greed, or weakness, some choose to betray such a gift. And what is the price of such betrayal? What is the cost of discarding a heart that only wished to see you thrive? Stay with me until the end, and you may find that the greatest wounds are not suffered by the betrayed, but by the betrayer. There exists in this world a kind of soul that is unlike any other, a soul that does not ask for much, yet gives everything, a soul that does not seek power, yet holds an unshakable strength, a soul that does not pretend, does not deceive, does not play games, a soul that simply is, pure, unwavering, and true. If you are fortunate enough to cross paths with such a soul, consider it a privilege beyond measure, for these are the rarest of all. Such souls move through life with an unspoken grace. They do not need grand gestures or empty words to prove their worth. Their very presence is enough. They uplift without seeking recognition, love without conditions, and stand by you when the world turns away. They are the quiet protectors, the unshaken pillars, the hearts that beat with an honesty so rare that most fail to recognize its value until it is gone. And therein lies the tragedy. To betray a soul like this is not just an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-destruction. The weight of such a betrayal is not felt immediately. No, it takes its time. It lingers in the background, waiting, whispering, growing. At first it may seem like you have escaped without consequence. The world continues to turn, and life carries on as if nothing has changed. But something has changed, hasn't it? That absence, that silence, that light you once stood in but no longer do. It does not fade, it does not vanish, it remains, and the longer you ignore it, the heavier it becomes. There is an old truth, one that has stood the test of time. What you do to another, you ultimately do to yourself. When you betray someone who only wished the best for you, someone who stood by you with nothing but good intentions, you do not just harm them, you harm yourself. You plant a seed within your own soul, a seed of doubt, of guilt, of regret. It may take months, even years to bloom, but when it does, you will feel it. You will look around and realize that something is missing, something intangible, yet irreplaceable. And what of the betrayed? What of the one who gave their heart so freely, only to have it cast aside? They will suffer, yes. They will feel the sting of loss, the ache of disappointment, the weight of sorrow. But they will rise. They always do. A good soul does not break, it bends, it learns, it grows. And when they emerge from the depths of that pain, they are stronger, wiser, untouchable. They do not seek revenge, do not waste time on resentment, do not look back with hatred. They simply walk forward, taking with them the love they gave so freely and leaving behind the one who did not know what to do with it. But for the betrayer, there is no such escape. The mind is a merciless judge, and the conscience, oh, the conscience. It never forgets. At first it is easy to silence. Excuses are made, justifications are crafted, distractions are sought. But when the nights grow quiet and the world slows down, that voice returns. You will hear it in the spaces between conversations, in the pause before sleep, in the reflection staring back at you from the mirror, and it will ask the question you cannot escape: was it worth it? People speak of karma as if it is some distant force, something external, something that strikes down from the heavens at a time of its choosing. But karma is not an outside force. It is the force within. It is the knowledge you carry, the truth you cannot run from, the silent understanding that you have traded something priceless for something temporary. And the worst part? There is no undoing it. No amount of apologies, no acts of redemption can restore what was lost. The damage has been done, and no matter how far you go, you will always carry the weight of what you threw away. This is not a warning. Warnings are for those who have yet to act. This is a truth, a simple and undeniable reality of life. To betray a good soul is to invite suffering into your own, not at their hands, not by their actions, but by the unrelenting force of your own choices. Because while they heal, while they grow, while they find new joys and greater love, you will be left to sit with what remains. You will be left to sit with what remains. You will be left to sit with what remains. The echoes of what was, the shadows of what could have been, the knowledge that you were given something rare, something pure, something true, and you let it slip through your fingers. Some will scoff at this. Some will dismiss it, laugh it off, wave it away as sentimentality. But those who have lived long enough, who have seen enough, who have felt enough, they know. They have watched the faces of those who thought they had won, only to realize too late that they had lost everything that truly mattered. They have seen the hollow eyes, the restless hands, the restless hearts, forever searching for something they once had but can never have again. And for those who still do not understand, who believe they have moved on without consequence, I ask only this. Wait, just wait. Time has a way of unraveling all illusions, and one day, when the distractions fade and the noise quiets, when the weight of years settles upon your shoulders, you will understand. You will feel the absence, the void, the loss that cannot be named but can always be felt. And when that day comes, remember this moment, because by then, the good soul you betrayed will be long gone, not with bitterness, not with hatred, but with a quiet peace, walking a path that no longer includes you. And you? You will be left to walk alone, carrying the price of your choices in the depths of your own soul. There is an order to this world, an invisible balance that few acknowledge, but none can escape. Some call it karma, others call it fate, but its name is of no consequence. It exists, it watches, and it always, always collects its debts. There are those who move through life believing they can outmaneuver it, that their actions can be buried, forgotten, erased. But what is done is never truly undone. Every betrayal, every lie, every wound inflicted upon another leaves a mark, not just on them, but on the one who inflicted it. A mark that does not fade, a weight that does not lessen, no matter how much time passes. A person may walk away from their actions, but they cannot walk away from themselves. The mind keeps records more meticulously than any book, and the conscience is an unrelenting force. There is a reason why some can never find peace, why no amount of success, wealth, or distractions can silence the restlessness inside them. It is not the world that torments them, it is their own deeds. Circling back, demanding acknowledgement. The universe does not punish, it merely reflects. You put out deceit, you receive mistrust. You betray loyalty, you find yourself alone. You wound a good soul, and you will spend your days searching for what you once had, never to find it again. There is a misconception that betrayal is an isolated act, that it happens in a moment and then it is over. But betrayal does not end when the words are spoken or the knife is plunged. It is a living thing, growing, evolving, taking new shapes over time. It follows you into new relationships, seeps into new friendships, stains new beginnings. You will wonder why trust does not come easily, why laughter feels hollow, why love never seems to last. You will blame circumstances, bad luck, others, but deep down, in the quiet moments when no one else is watching, you will know. You will know that you set this in motion, that the echoes of what you did are now the walls that surround you. A good soul is not like the others. It does not retaliate, does not scheme, does not lower itself to the level of those who deceive. That is what makes it so easy to take advantage of, so easy to betray. But it is also what makes the consequences so much greater, because while others may seek revenge, may fight back with the same cruelty, a good soul simply walks away. Because it is in that silence that you will hear yourself most clearly. It is in that absence that you will feel the depth of what was lost. Some try to fill that void with distractions, with people, with noise. They surround themselves with new faces, chase fleeting pleasures, bury themselves in work, in success, in anything that can keep them from being alone with their thoughts. But no matter where they run, the truth follows. The face in the mirror does not forget. The heart does not forget. And no matter how many times they convince themselves that they have moved on, there will always be something missing. Because some losses are not measured in material things, but in the quiet moments when you realize you once had something rare, something real, something irreplaceable, and you let it slip through your fingers. The world moves fast, but the mind moves faster. It rewinds, replays, returns to the moments we thought we left behind. And so the betrayer becomes haunted, not by ghosts, but by memories. The kindness they took for granted, the loyalty they discarded, the love they assumed would always be there. They see it in others, in places, in moments they cannot control. They wonder why they cannot feel what they once felt, why happiness seems just out of reach. But happiness is not just about gaining, it is about what was lost along the way, and some losses cannot be undone. The weight of conscience is not always immediate. Some carry it lightly at first, believing they have escaped. But time is patient, it waits, and eventually, when the distractions fade and the world grows quiet, when the masks come off and there is no one left to impress, the truth arrives. Not as punishment, not as revenge, but as a realization that there is no greater suffering than knowing you destroyed something that was meant to be yours, that you broke something that only wanted to heal you, that you betrayed a soul that would have carried you through storms, that would have stood beside you through fire, that would have loved you long after everyone else had walked away. To be betrayed is painful, but to be the betrayer is worse, because while the betrayed will grieve, will heal, will rise stronger and find love again, the betrayer will always wonder if they made the right choice, wonder if they could have done things differently, wonder if they will ever feel that kind of love and loyalty again, and that wondering becomes a prison, a weight they carry long after the good soul has moved on, long after the world has forgotten. Some will call this justice, but justice is not the right word, it is simply balance. The natural order of things. What is given freely, once discarded, does not return. What is broken, once shattered, does not become whole in the same hands that crushed it. And so those who have betrayed must carry what they have done, not because the world demands it, but because the heart does, because the soul remembers, because no one truly escapes themselves. And so they search. They search for the feeling they once knew, for the presence they once had, for the peace they once took for granted. But a good soul, once betrayed, does not wait. It does not linger in the past, does not wish harm, does not seek vengeance. It simply walks away, never looking back. And that, more than anything, is the price that must be paid. There is a quiet resilience in those who have been betrayed, a strength that does not announce itself with noise or fury, but with an unshakable calm. The world sees their pain, assumes they have been broken, assumes they have lost. But those who carry good souls do not break. They may bend, they may fall, they may retreat into silence for a time, but they always rise. And when they do, they are not the same as before. They have shed illusions, stripped away naivety, carved wisdom from their wounds. The betrayal that was meant to weaken them only makes them untouchable. It does not waste its time plotting, does not lower itself to the level of those who deceive. That is where true power lies, in the refusal to be corrupted by the very thing that tried to destroy you. And so they walk forward, not with bitterness, but with a new understanding. They now see people for who they are, not who they pretend to be. They no longer chase validation, no longer seek love where it does not exist. And those who once betrayed them? They watch from a distance, realizing too late that they have not won, but lost something irreplaceable. There is something unsettling about watching someone you wronged flourish without you. It is easy to believe that someone will always be there, that kindness will always remain open, that love will always wait. But a good soul does not stay where it is not valued. It does not beg to be seen. It does not linger where trust has been shattered. And so they leave, taking with them the light they once gave freely. And in that absence, the betrayer learns the harshest lesson of all, that some doors, once closed, they say time heals. But that is not entirely true. Time does not heal wounds, it simply reveals what was always there. Some wounds deepen, some fester, some demand to be faced, no matter how long one tries to avoid them. And so, those who have betrayed may find themselves running, moving from place to place, person to person, distraction to distraction. But they cannot outrun themselves. They will search for the warmth they once had, for the trust they so easily discarded, for the presence that once made them feel safe. But there are some things in life that, once lost, can never be found again. The greatest punishment for betrayal is not delivered by the betrayed, but by life itself. There will come a moment when the betrayer stands among crowds yet feels completely alone, when they are surrounded by noise but hear only silence, when they look into the eyes of another and realize they no longer see the reflection of someone who truly knows them. Because trust, once broken, does not return, and the love of a good soul, once discarded, is never offered twice. Some learn this lesson too late. They return to familiar places, hoping to find the same warmth, the same understanding, the same love that once embraced them without hesitation. But the world has changed. The person they betrayed has changed. They no longer carry the same softness, no longer offer the same sanctuary. And so, the betrayer stands at a threshold they can never cross again, watching as the life they could have had continues without them. Regret is a slow creeping thing. It does not strike all at once, but reveals itself in pieces. A quiet ache in the heart, a name that lingers in the mind, a moment of happiness tainted by the thought of what could have been. They will see the good soul they once wronged, thriving, growing, radiating a peace they can no longer touch, and they will wonder if they ever truly understood what they had until it was gone. Life does not wait. It moves forward, taking with it those who are wise enough to let go, and leaving behind those who thought they could play with the hearts of others without consequence. And so, the betrayed becomes stronger, wiser, untouchable. And the betrayer? They are left to carry the weight of what they have done, to walk roads that lead nowhere, searching for something that no longer exists. Because there is no greater suffering than realizing too late that you once had something pure, something real, something true, and you destroyed it with your own hands. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been given the gift of a good soul, cherish it, protect it, honor it. And if you have betrayed one, then know this: there is still time. Time to make amends. Time to change the course of your fate. Because in the end, it is not the good soul that suffers the most. It is the one who let them go. Thank you.